Alright guys, we are heading down to the Peak TN conference. We're going to drive about 5 hours to Nashville. We'll see how the new truck does. Filling her up. Big buckies. Cheapest gas around. Alrighty guys, we got back from the Peak TN 2025 conference in Franklin, Tennessee last night. And so stick around till the end of this video and we'll go over what all we learned down there. We did not get to do much on Thursday class-wise. We got registered. We got down there real late. We went through 4 or 5 traffic jams trying to get to Nashville. So that was not fun. But we got down there all right. And then we got registered. We got settled into the hotel. We went out, got us something to eat. Went and looked around. Went back to the hotel, kind of checked it out. We realized we was old because we wasn't going out and going out on the town. We just stayed in the hotel, kind of checked it out, watched a little TV. Then we got rested up for the night, and we went to class at 8 o'clock in the morning. Our first one was sweet corn production, how sweet it is. A few of the things that they went over was what customers look for in your ear, and they said it's pretty much no worms, but we kind of differ from that because some people do want worms because they say that means that if a worm won't eat it, then we don't want to eat it. So I mean, we can kind of see both sides. We had worms in our corn last year and we sold it like hotcakes. We had no problem selling corn with worms in it, but these were kind of big producers that were going to supermarkets and stuff like that. The next one was husk and leaf color, and that's 100% ripe. You want it a nice green. You don't want it to start turning brown and getting real dry. You want it to kind of look wet and juicy. The next one was your tip feel. You want that tip of that ear to really be filled out. You don't want it to be bare on the end of that and just have a big dip off from your corn. We had a lot of our customers, they'd always open that shuck up a little bit and look right there at the tip of that corn to make sure if it was really ripe, or if it wasn't real ripe, they'd put it back and they'd get something else. So we really tried to pick our corn ripe as it'd be, because we've got some old timers that like their corn a certain way, and we wanted to provide them with that corn that they like. They were kind of going over a few different kinds of corn. One thing that caught my eye was synergistic instead of super sweet. They were talking about the super sweet kind of loses its flavor a little bit faster, and some of the people say that the taste and the texture of the synergistic is better. I really like the texture of the super sweet because it's a little crisper, and the synergistic is a little more creamy, and so I like a little more crispy top whenever I bite into the kernels. But they said that a lot of their customers were looking for that creamy texture. They were saying that we needed to spray 1 to 2 times to prevent earworm damage in late plantings of sweet corn. Like I said, we did not spray anything for earworms or nothing last year. We just let God take care of it, and there was a few worms in our corn, but I mean, heck, they is about that far in it. They might have dug one little tunnel, but that wasn't very common. Most of our corn didn't have any worms in it, so I probably ain't gonna spray again this year, and we'll just kind of see how it turns out. If I see a lot of damage starting to happen, I may get in there and start trying to spray it. But that's just, I'm not going to spray it next year unless I've got to get in there. I don't want to spend the money on the chemical. I don't want to add that spray to my corn crop, because the less spray, the better the corn is. I mean, I don't see any reason to spray unnecessary chemicals on our crops, none of them. The next thing they were talking about was the pH level in the soil. They wanted it to be around 6.0 to 6.8. They said if it stayed in that range that you were pretty good. They recommended 120 to 180 pounds of nitrogen per acre, 25, 50, 100 pound an acre phosphate, and potash depending on your pH level in your soil. And then 5 pounds per acre of zinc if your pH level is above 6.1. That was just kind of some breakdowns right there that I put down. Then when to plant, they said your first planting should be mid to late April in Tennessee. That kind of differs depending on what side of Tennessee you're on. If you're in far east Tennessee or if you're in far west Tennessee, that's going to differ a little bit. We get a little colder temperatures over here in East Tennessee than they do in West Tennessee, so they're going to be planting a little bit earlier than we are. Early in the season, shallower depth. Late in the season, a little deeper. They were talking about, instead of storing it in those wooden crates, some people store it in cabbage bags, and you get 4.5 to 5 dozen per bag. So we might try to buy some of them cabbage bags instead of storing it. We put them in few trash bags last year to transport them just from the field to the car and stuff. I'd rather have some cabbage bags just to, I mean, that probably ain't food safe for trash bags, but heck, a corn's got a silk on it, so it ain't hurting nothing. But I'd rather just be a little safer and go with cabbage bags. They said whenever you're picking corn, get it into the shade as soon as possible. The longer that it's in that sun, in that heat, the faster that sugar goes out of it. And if you get it in a cooler and put it 32 to 34 degrees, it's going to last 3-4 days at least and be really, really good. Once we don't like to sell it after about 3 days, but we didn't really have coolers last year. We put the corn on the ice, and all our ears, we put them on cooler, put ice in a cooler, and then put the ears on top of that. It seemed to work really good for us, but I didn't like the taste of it after about 3-4 days, so we're small enough where, I mean, I was about sold out by that 3rd day, so if I had any left over, I'd just throw it out, let the deer eat it or whatever, and say the heck with it, and then go pick some fresh. I'd rather have a good quality product sending it to my people than worry about, heck, I mean, it's $5 a dozen last year. That's what I was charging, so $5 a dozen. I'd rather just go pick it, bring it back down here, and have them some fresh corn to go tell their friends about. Hydro cooling, which I was just talking about, if you submerge it in water and ice, it's going to be 15 times faster than if you cool it with a cooler in regular air, which I thought was pretty crazy. So we might get some big tubs instead of coolers and just fill it with ice and water and cold water and submerge our corn in it and just kind of keep it in there. You can get your corn too cold. Freezing injury does start at 3 degrees Fahrenheit. And that was kind of the end of what I got from that sweet corn class. The next class that we went to was telling your farm story using social media. And that was 9 to 9:45 a.m. This was, I mean, it was a very good class. I was so thankful that we went to this one. I wish that we could have went to a few more social media classes, especially with Dee Dee Russell. She was great at just telling the story of how to do social media and everything else. She was entertaining during the presentation, and she always kept your attention, and she was very informative whenever she was talking. The first thing that she kind of started out with was your platforms. TikTok is the fastest growing for your younger audience, and then Facebook is your largest platform. She said if you're advertising and stuff, Facebook is the way to go. Boosted posts on Facebook, boosted posts on Instagram. She also said that if you make a few good TikToks a week, I think it was 3 to 4 a week, that you can really get pretty big. She said on Facebook and Instagram, though, you're going to have to be making sometimes 3 to 4 posts a day. She said that's the best, but she said if you can't manage to do that, at least make 1 post a day and kind of use your hashtags, use all their features. She said that whenever you kind of scratch their back, they'll scratch yours. Let's see. Pinterest, she said that it was a really good app, and she said YouTube was a really good app, but she said you didn't kind of have to post as much, just 1 to 2 high quality videos monthly. Then she kind of went over just if you can go into your industry and search some other people in your industry on YouTube. That'll kind of give you some ideas on what you're missing out on, because I mean, if we went and searched our tree farm on YouTube, it might come up a different tree farm, but we're pretty good and pretty big, so our tree farm doesn't really have to worry about that. But our corn maze, our event venue, and all that other stuff that we're just now starting to add, I feel like that is going to make a big impact if we can start getting out there on social media and doing a little better with that. That'll get a few more people calling us, get a few more people coming up there and looking at our farm, at all our buildings and stuff, and maybe telling their friends. Hopefully we'll start getting some weddings and some more people coming to our corn maze next year, some more people coming to buy our produce and everything, and we're just excited for what the future holds. So we're really hoping to get on and do a little better with our social media. If you're wanting to advertise, Instagram charges 30%, and they pay that to Apple for processing fees whenever you buy your ads through Instagram. So go to Facebook and get more bang for your buck. Kind of go on there and share your everyday experience with people on social media. I mean, a person in the city does not have the same experience as a person in the country. We're living some people's dream out here. We've got land, we've got a big farm, we can grow our own food, we know where our food comes from, we've got great neighbors, we've got a great community, we talk to each other. They just don't have, some people up there in the city just don't have that, and so they want to look and see what you're doing and kind of you're living their dream. People want what they can't have sometimes, and so they want to kind of be included and see what all's going on in your life and around your farm. That was another big thing that I thought was pretty cool. You just never know what people want to watch. They watch all kinds of different stuff. I mean, heck, I watched them guys build them forts and stuff out in the woods, out of nothing, at 2 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I've watched dishes get washed before, concrete get poured. I mean, you never know what you're going to come up and say, oh, this kind of looks interesting on TikTok or YouTube or whatever. So just kind of put your life out there for people to see, and they're going to kind of come watch it once it gets out there. Just be patient and stay consistent. Facebook owns Instagram, and so I feel like if you go through Facebook, then that's going to help you a little bit on Instagram. She said that whenever you use Facebook's planning calendar schedule, that it helps you keep track of what you're doing. You can go in there and schedule stuff for the whole week and not have to go in there and post every single day of the week. You can go in there on Monday or something, schedule everything out for the week, and you've only got to do that one day instead of every day, making a separate post each day. She said to definitely look at your insights, because they tell you if you're getting ripped off. Like if you're hiring somebody to manage your social media, let's say that your audience is for couples and your Instagram ads are getting sent to single males out here in Pakistan and you're in Tennessee, that's not adding up. You need to be local and getting what you want. So your insights on your social media are going to tell you if your social media people are actually doing what they're saying they're doing. Reels, 14.9 seconds long, you can turn into a story on Instagram. Anything over that you cannot, so just remember that. She always used her laptop for social media posting, not her phone. It just helped her a whole lot get scheduled. She said to set your Instagram, your Facebook or whatever, your bio up kind of like a website. Use your bio as describing what your farm is, kind of what's up. And then use your stories as different sections of what you do. Maybe your wedding venue, your corn maze, then your Christmas trees, then your just whatever else, your apple orchard or whatever else. Use different stories for that because it's going to help you out. It's going to help the people kind of find what they want a little easier. If it's right there at the top of the page, people don't want to scroll down and take the time to look and see what all's on your Instagram. They want to see it right there at the top, see what all you provide, what they can go do, how they can have fun. 7 to 8 p.m. is the time to post, is the best time to post reels. Facebook is a little bit more generous with your content than Instagram. They'll kind of push it out to a few more people. Stories on Instagram are the only way that you can link your website. They are kind of stingy with providing you links. You can do it on your story and then you get one free link in your bio too. If anybody's posting about your farm, let's say on Instagram, on TikTok or whatever, share that to your farm's page. You never know how big that's going to blow up in the future. So always share that, kind of reciprocate, and show them gratitude for putting your farm out there, putting some media out there about your farm, especially if they're just doing it for free. She said to go live on TikTok. She said that definitely helps your crowd. She said that helps get it out to a few more people. If you're going live on TikTok, people kind of scroll on it. Let's say if you're going out to bush hog a field or going to pick some sweet corn, just hit that live button, and heck, you're already doing it. You might as well just put it on social media for some people to see and maybe get your farm name out there a little bit. Think of ways to explain your products to interest your audience. Let's just say that you're trying to sell sweet corn and it's hard to sell it right now because you're trying to get it into these supermarkets. But you've got a little small farm. Well, you can do a little bit more work and you can sell some organic sweet corn for a little more money if that's what you're trying to do. And there's very few organic farmers out there right now. It's a hard thing to do. You can sell organic products if that's what you want to do, and that would create interest in some people. You can create luxury products. I mean, Rolex sells watches that they make for little money, and they sell them for $30,000-$40,000 when you can go down here to Walmart and buy you a watch for $30. You know, it's just luxury. It's brand name. If you can create a product like that people fall in love with and tell all their friends about, you can charge a high premium price, but it does have to be a high premium product for you to charge that price. Our next class was the funding your market. I won't go over much of it because I wasn't expecting it to be a farmer's market class. Didn't get much notes. I don't know much about the farmer's market. I don't have much interest in the farmer's market business side of it. And it was the farmer's market managers, not the people that produce the produce and stuff for the farmer's markets. So the next one was the growing and agritourism business. This was one of my favorites, probably my favorite. The class was led by the Coppers. Their farm is just amazing. We can't wait to go up there and visit it. It's right outside of Chicago. They have tulips in the spring. They used to do weddings. They have a retail product store. They have pig races, bands. They've got a corn maze. They've got pumpkin patches. They used to have movie nights. They've got a dino experience where they bring big, huge dinosaurs, and kids get to come in and see that. And it's just such a cool, unique farm. If y'all ever get the chance to go up there and see it, it's the Coppers Family Farm, and it's right outside of Chicago. They were amazing people, and we would love to get to talk to them again. So if y'all ever can, go up there and check their farm out, because I promise you, you will not be disappointed. A few things that they do was their tulips. I thought that was a crazy idea, and that's in the springtime. I don't know. I mean, I would love to learn how to do that, but we would have to find a place. We would have to find the seed, learn how to get the tulips to actually come up and make a good stand. But it was one of the most beautiful things. There was just fields and fields of tulips, different colors. It looked so pretty over there on their farm. The most important thing we sell is the experience. And I think that's with any agritourism business. Christmas trees, corn mazes, haunted houses, anything like that. You're selling an experience. The people ain't just wanting to come there and get a product. They want to come there, have fun, create memories, have a good time with their families. They don't just want to come in there and buy something off of you. They're wanting to come in there and kind of just really create memories and have a good time. They used to do weddings, and that's one thing that we would like to do more of. We used to do them whenever we had the restaurant open, but we haven't had that many ever since it closed, and so we would like to start doing a little more weddings and then special events like that. So we're going to kind of start advertising a little more. If y'all know any ways of advertising for that or any shows, please drop them down in the comments, because I would love to start going to a few. Anything like that helps. We love going to stuff like that because we get to meet new people in our industries, and connections always help out the best. Networking is one of the most important things that you can do in any industry. Making connections, finding people that do the same thing. If you can bounce problems off of them, if you get close enough with them, and they'll let you know, especially if they've been through it, and you do the same thing. If you've been through problems, you let some people know, and I mean, you scratch their back and they're going to scratch yours. It's just like anything else in life. He has pig races and bands, which I thought that was crazy that he had pig races. That is really cool. He had like this whole setup, and it was like a stadium and a track, and he had bleachers around it, and it was like a little dirt track thing, and he run his pigs around it. It was awesome. He also had bands. He has his own apple cider and stuff, which was really cool. He's got his own apple orchard over there. He said to utilize your talents. Everybody has different talents. He said that his talent was concrete. He said that he always done concrete. That's what he done for a living, was concrete. And so he kind of put that to use on his farm. Whenever he would be building walkways and stuff, he would do that concrete, and he would do it to the best of his abilities and make it look just amazing. Like I said, that premium product, that's what he would provide. He'd put that on his farm, concrete rock walls, anything like that. He done that, and he would put his time and effort into it. That just adds to the experience of the farm. I don't know what kind of talents you have, but I know that you do. You just got to find those talents and then put them to use on whatever you're doing, whatever industry you're in, because they can just help that industry out so much. And you can always find different people to help you out with the talents that you're not good at, but just put your talents to use, and then you can always hire people from there. Be different from the other farms in your area. Don't go around. You can always, I like to go around and always look at different farms, see what they're doing. but you don't want to go copy them. They're already doing that. They've got new ideas for next year. If you're copying their ideas for last year, they're going to be 2 steps ahead of you because they're already on to the next year. Always have your own ideas and just be different from the competition, and that's what's going to separate you and get people coming to your farm and not just competing for the same crowd, because if you're providing the same experience, then you're going to be competing with the same crowd. If you're providing a different experience, then you're going to be competing with a different crowd. He did a lot of team building events with his people. He would do trips, cookouts, potlucks, just stuff like that to keep his people around. He said you have to treat your people nice, and they're going to stay around. If you don't treat them good, don't give them what they want, why would they stick around? Farming's hard. It's hard work. There's plenty of jobs that's real easy. You can go be a greeter at McDonald's or whatever and make about the same money. So he wants to have people that love farming, love what he's doing, but also he wants to treat them right and provide them with opportunities to move up and then help their families move up in life as well, which I think that is great. I think everybody should do that. That's the point of being a boss or an employer, is to make those people's lives way better and just create jobs for them, help their families out, and you do not want to be treating them like crap because they're the ones that's making you money, and without them you would not be making that money. Keep everything looking clean. That's one thing I have to do better about on my farm. We've got stuff laying around, old trailers and stuff like that, just piled up some places. We've got equipment along the fence lines. I would love to make it nice, have everything organized, looking good, have all our equipment looking really good. That was one of my things, was keep better maintenance for the year on everything, and so we're going to do that this year, make everything look real nice and just add to everything and hopefully keep everything looking nice for the future. Have a running list of issues around your farm. You know there's always problems. Just stay on the lookout for them, and whenever you see a problem, write it down. Whenever you got some time, sit down, look at that list, see what you can fix. Start fixing that stuff, cross it off that list. And then you'll find you're never going to run off that list. You're never going to finish it. But you're going to make your farm a whole lot better having that list and being able to see what you've accomplished, what all you've got done, how you've made your farm better, and how you still can make your farm better and improve it, because there's always work to do. Identify, discuss, then solve your issues. Some people, they just want to say, hey, here's this problem, what are we going to do about it? Well, sometimes you just have to get in there and start doing it. Some people, they just say they want to talk about it and then leave it right there on that piece of paper and then go to the next meeting. They're going to talk about it again and then never do nothing about it. But if you get in there and you identify your problems, figure out what they are, you talk about them, let everybody in the room kind of get their opinion out, hear everybody, find the best solution that you can, and then you start to solve that problem. As soon as you're done with that meeting, you go out there and start getting it done. You want to have an everyday issue list, which is your kind of small stuff, and then your long-term issue list, which is your bigger stuff and kind of your goals for the future. You always want to be checking in with your team on their progress of what all's going on. Your issues, you lay them out. You give certain people different issues to work on, see how far they're going, see how they're getting them fixed. We're only good as the people that we employ. If you got somebody out there that's greeting people, they don't know what they're saying, they're mean to people, they've got an attitude, they're not being really nice and greeting people, they're not being helpful, answering people's questions, you're going to get bad reviews. People are going to tell their friends that your farm sucks, and then you're going to lose all your customers. hire the right people, train them right. If you hear that there is something going on, address it as immediately, and then let that customer know that you are getting it fixed. You're going to have it fixed. Invite them back. Tell them the next time will be free or something. Get them back on your farm to have a good experience, because the worst thing you can do is have somebody out there that's had a bad experience on your farm, because they're going to tell everybody. If you mess up, somebody's going to tell 9 people. If you do something right, somebody's going to tell 1 or 2. That's just the way it is. His reason for farming was he just loved it. And I love to hear that, because I love farming. That's one of my reasons, is I've watched it ever since I was little. Growed up around it. I've always loved tractors, trucks, Christmas trees, corn, anything plowing dirt. I'm all about it, and that's what I want to do for a living. I don't want to do nothing else but farm, and so that's just my passion too. And it was amazing to see what he created by just his passion to want to farm. I mean, if you get to see their farm, if you look it up, it's just amazing. And he created that by just wanting to farm, and that was real inspiring. He was talking about how you recruit people to your farm, kind of your employees, going to schools and stuff, bringing them donuts and everything. Stuart McGill, he has a pumpkin destruction day, which I thought was a really cool idea. I guess he brings some people out and gives them some hammers or whatever, bats or whatever, and they get to go out there and beat some pumpkins in the ground, which I thought was really cool. They talked about how they fed their team during this time of the year, which I thought was a really good question, because we ran into that last year. During the breaks and during whenever it would get slow, we'd have them kids up there and people that was helping us out, and they would be up there, and we'd be hungry and ready to eat, but we wouldn't know what to do, what to get. So most of them, they made their people bring their own lunch. We'd go get Chick-fil-A or something. We'd bring in pizza or something like that. But they said that most of them had to bring their own lunch. The employees did. 20 to 30 minutes for that lunch. Pizzas, sometimes they would get it catered, but then they just ran into some problems and they just couldn't do it anymore. One of them, she said that she did feed her team, though. It was Amy Ladd. She fed her team. She had a fully stocked kitchen and employees to run that kitchen, though. So that's how she was able to do that. Sometimes you have to cross-train just 1 or 2 people on a bunch of stuff so that they can cover the people that's getting these lunch breaks and stuff. They were talking about doing good stuff in your community, whether it be sponsoring ball teams or going out there and doing litter pickup on the sides of the highways or donating stuff to kids or whatever it may be. They said that helps get your name out there and just makes you feel good because you are helping the community out. Most of your money is going to come from your gate admission in agritourism. You can add all the stuff that you want to, but most of your money is coming from that gate admission, so you're wanting as many people as you can to come through that gate. So whatever you got to do to get the most people come through that gate that you can do, try to do it. That's one thing that I do wish that I got more information on, was how to get people to your farm. If you got any ideas on that, please drop them down there in the comments, because I would love to hear some ideas on how you think it would be good to get more people, our farm name out to more people, to get more people onto our farm to have a good time. Go through our hay rides, go through our corn mazes, Christmas trees, peach orchards, apple orchards. Whatever we can do to make it more fun in this community, We've got a lot of car washes, gas stations, and restaurants. Not too much fun stuff to do. So that's one thing that I was trying to add to our communities. But we just got to get our name out there and try to get to more people. So I need to know how to do that a little bit better. And that's one thing that I would like to do a little bit better on. And I guess that the social media thing will really help me out if I can start posting a little more consistently and doing a little better with that. Another thing that I thought was real interesting to hear was you're not going against your ideas that you're having of the farm. That's not what you've got to live up to. You've got to live up to the people that are coming there, their perception of your farm. If they think that everything has to be perfect and pristine and mowed whenever they get there, that's what they're going to review. And then they could go to some other farm that they do not think that is going to have to be pristine and mowed and do all that stuff with. And they're not going to leave a bad review. They're going to leave a good review because that was their perception going to that farm. That's what they expected going there. But whenever they came to yours, they expected it to be mowed, pristine, really nice. So whenever you start, you need to have that in mind and never go backwards, kind of always go up. Every year, just make it better and better. Never try to go down backwards, because that's when people are going to start leaving bad reviews, because their expectations are up here and you're providing them something that's right here. Some of them trained their staff, some people didn't. Last year, we did not have a specific training day, but we had, before we got them there a little bit early before we opened the first day. We ran them through what they needed to do, where they needed to be. It was my training day too, because I had no idea what I was getting into whenever I started this. I never ran a corn maze before, so whenever I started it, I didn't know what to expect that first day, and when people started rolling in, I really didn't know what to do. But we got through it. We got through the season. Everybody had fun, which I'm very thankful for. But we're going to know next year, and I hope to put a training day in place before we do open up. They were talking about your website. It's very important. We do not have a website right now. I am going to try to make one or get somebody to make one for us. If y'all got any recommendations, please leave them down in the comments, because I just really don't know where to start with a website design. I feel like with our farm, it's kind of small right now, so I don't think we need anything extravagant. But I would like a good website that lets people know what's going on. I don't want to put too much on there, because that's just going to distract people. They want to go on there, find what they want, and then get off that website and then come have fun. And that was another thing in these notes. Less is more in a website. When you're building your website, build it for phones, because not everybody's going to be on a tablet or a laptop when they're searching for you. Most people are going to be on their cell phone, driving to your farm, scrolling through there trying to find it. They're not going to want to search and try to get on their laptop or their iPad. Some of them ain't got that with them. They just want to hop on their phone, get on your website, and see what's going on, and they're on the way right then. So 10 to 15% of your revenue should go to advertising. We didn't do that last year. We didn't have enough in advertising. This year I'm going to do a little more. I would like to do more than 10 to 15%, just because we're starting out. We missed a lot last year, so I'm going to try to play a little catch up. Stuff in your gift shop. They said labeled items, toys for kids, food kind of things, jellies and jams sell really good. Small stuff sells. Really big stuff, they're not going to lug it out of your farm store. Just little trinkets, cups, hats, stuff like that. So that was all of our Friday classes. We'll move on to our Saturday classes now. This was Christmas tree day pretty much, which I love. I love everything about Christmas trees. That's just always been my passion. That's what I've grown up around. They started off with showing everybody that it ain't just December job. You don't just throw a tree in the ground and then magically grows to 7-8 feet, and then you cut it in December and sell it, and that's all you got to do. They plant January to February. Weed controls from April through October. Pest controls April through October. Shearing is May and September, and that's 2 times a year. Sales preparation is October and November, and then you're selling November and December. So I mean, it's a year-round business. It ain't just Christmas time when Christmas tree farmers are going. So it's that way for some, which just buy Christmas trees and resell them. But we're growers, and we're in this thing year-round. They also talked about the spraying on Leland cypress. We plant a few here, and that's just in places that the root rot's bad in Tennessee on our farm. They said that they spray for fungus every 3 days, and they rotate their chemicals, which is Enclave, Manzate, and Invaluable. And they, every 3 days, they'll rotate that chemical. They'll spray one that 3rd day, and then they'll rotate that next 3rd day, and then they'll rotate that next 3rd day, and they'll keep doing that for a cycle from April through October. They use an air blast sprayer, but you can use a little wand sprayer if you ain't got a whole lot of trees. The Murray cypress is a little bit better than the Leland if you're gonna plant them. They just hold it off. Ain't disease proof, but they're a little bit better than the Leland, and that's why some people are getting away from the Leland cypress. They said that they sprayed pines for needle blight. He said that pruning cost him about 50 cents a tree, and he paid that out to other people to do that. They kind of had some fun games for kids and stuff on the weekends. They had a cool little train that they run around the farm. They planted all their trees out of pots. They didn't have trays, and then plant them into the transplant beds and then go to the field with them. They just planted them in a pot and then brought that pot out to the field whenever it was ready to plant. We always put ours in transplant beds, but whatever works. Older people are starting to get out of the tree industry, and there's a bunch of young people that ain't wanting to take over. They were talking about how old trucks were a hit on all their farms. If you put out an old truck with your magnet or logo or something on it, that was a big hit for photo ops and stuff. They had about the same thing in all their gift shops. Decorations, jams, jellies, toys for kids, just stuff like that. They was like no big stuff. They said no big stuff. It really don't sell that good. They had funnel cakes, boiled peanuts, and fried Oreos and stuff on their farm, which hopefully we'll get there one day. We gotta have enough people to run concession stands and registers and everything. So we're going to try to do a little bit better for our help this year, get a little bit ahead of the game, have a little more people lined up for help. He said that he had 50 people working for him on his busiest day, which I thought that was pretty crazy. I don't know how many he had to have to go through there and, I guess, do the concession stands and registers and load trees and everything. I know that this year we had, I'd say 10 people, I'd say, working total on our farm. That includes choose and cut and our pre-cut lot. So I don't know where the extra 40 people were going, but whatever works. He said he bought used bounce houses, which he said that he does not use anymore because insurance won't cover a bounce house. So I don't think we're going to be investing in a bounce house anytime soon. We might get people to bring them in, but still don't think that avoids you from liability. They're on your property. Anything can come back to you. Then Jamie and Laura, the presidents of the Tennessee Christmas Tree Association, this was their class. One of the cool things that I thought they said was they kind of stood back and they would watch their customers, and they would see kind of where they were having problems, where stuff was bottlenecking, where their customers were getting confused, and they would write all that stuff down for the year, and then they would fix it as the days went on during their season so that they didn't have to wait all the way till next year to start fixing those problems. I thought that was so smart. That was such a good idea. I thought that was really cool. They said that you're starting to find Fraser fir a little bit easier now through wholesalers. I don't know if there's about to be an oversupply. All this works in cycles. You go from a tree glut to an oversupply, and then sometimes you'll find people that want to buy trees. Sometimes people just don't want to buy trees. Sometimes people don't want to pay the right money that you put into your trees. It's just kind of all like everything else, the economy. And I thought that another thing that was really cool about what they said was they asked their customers what was frustrating about that experience on their farm for the year, and then they start fixing it. It's hard to sit back and hear that your hard work, what you've put so much time and so much effort into, you made that plan, you thought that up for so long, you thought it was going to be perfect, you thought it was going to work, and then somebody says, that sucks, that's the worst part about my experience here. It really hurts, but if you put your ego aside and you listen to them, hear them out, and then you start fixing that problem, everybody else's experience is going to be so much better, and when they come back the next year, they're going to say, oh, I'm so glad that you fixed that. This was the best experience ever. We're so glad that you heard us out and that you fixed this problem. And it's going to be all worth it then, because you've actually fixed the problem, you've solved something, you've done something, and you've made their experience better, and your farm is growing, and it's just getting better as the years go on. And the more problems that you solve, the better your farm's going to get. So the faster you can get to the bottom of those problems, the better your farm's going to get faster. They also said to buy the biggest tree that you can afford to plant in the field. That's going to save you a lot of time. This is a time business. We're running out of time as we speak. The best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. The second best time is today. So we need to get some trees in the ground. We need to start planting trees, keep planting trees, and any time that you can take off of that by getting your buying your plant bigger is going to help you. These trees only grow a foot a year. So, I mean, 7 years, you're going to have a 7-foot tree in 7 years. That's a lot of time. And if you plant it from seed, you just add 3 years to that 7, and that's how long it took to grow that tree. They also talked about they got homeschool kids to work during the summer, or during their tree season, which I thought that was so smart, because they're off a little more during the week, and they're not in school, but you can still kind of work them and get them to come out and help you. And they said that the main ones that they found that helped them out was the ones that kind of didn't have time for a full-time job, that was mainly in sports, that needed just this one-time work, and they was good for a little while. They need to make a little bit of money right now, and then later on down the road, whenever I need a little more, I'd holler at them or something. But they said that was the best way that they've worked out so far. They said to kind of figure out what's missing in our area, and that's what I've tried to do. I hadn't tried to go around and copy people around our area. I've went to all kinds of farms my whole life and seen different ones, and I never have tried to copy them. I've kind of had an idea of what I had in mind, and but you don't want to copy them. But you kind of want to go there to see what they're missing and what you can provide to the area, so you can provide a different experience than they do have, if that makes sense. Seedling sales, they said to schedule 6 to 12 months in advance. They said that seedlings sell like hotcakes, and if you go try to buy seedlings when it's time to plant, you're not going to have them. So kind of get out there and buy them a little bit earlier than you need them, so that you will have them when you need them, and you're not waiting and planting right before a drought or something during the middle of summer. Soil testing is a big thing in the Christmas trees. If you have a bunch of clay, you're not growing no Fraser fir. I'm sorry to tell you that, but you're really not growing no Fraser fir. They like good draining soil. They like cold weather. They like fog. And it's not real good down here in Tennessee for Fraser fir. We've got some that grow on our farm, but the areas are slimming down faster and faster because the root man, the root rot just takes over. It's got almost half of one of our fields. It got a whole one behind the restaurant with Fraser fir. And just whenever you plant them and they get up to about cutting size, then he comes in, he hits them, they turn brown, and by the time they're ready to cut, that field's gone. So it's a mess. And so if you're in clay or real non-draining soils, you're going to want to plant pine or cypress or something like that that's going to live. Some of them charge for hay rides. They said that people would sit there and ride the hayride all day if they didn't. I don't know. We don't have a hayride on our tree farm right now. I'd like to get that in the future. But when we did have one, it was always free. You got to ride it back there to the field, and then you got to come back. We pick people up and bring them back to the pavilion on it. I don't know if that's a good idea. They said that it never did really get many people, push people away, but I always feel like that's just another addition to your experience on your farm. If you're making them pay for that, then it's not really an addition to your experience. It's something else that they've got to buy, another product they got to pay for. And I wanted to give y'all a little heads up. In 2026, there is a vote coming up for all Christmas tree growers. If you are a Christmas tree grower and you are paying the Christmas tree tax and you do not like it, go vote, because that vote is coming up in 2026 and you can put a stop to it. Go vote against it, vote to stop it, because it's just going to make the Christmas tree prices go up. The big growers have to pay a lot. I think it's 15 cents a tree, and so that adds up really fast. Thankfully, we are exempt. We do not sell that many Christmas trees. So, I mean, we're not worried about it, but we'd like to get bigger, and we'd like to have more than 500 Christmas trees that we sell each year, cut each year. And in the future, if we do have that law and that tax is going to hurt us, just like it's hurting all these big growers around us. That's one thing that's driving these tree prices up. If you're having to pay 15 cents on 300,000 trees, well, that's $30,000 or over $30,000. Some of them big growers, they've got 1 million trees in the ground. That's a lot of money. That's going to make your Christmas tree prices go up. It's going to shoot them through the roof more than they are right now. We've been in a glut. There hadn't been a lot of people that's had Christmas trees here lately. That's why they've been so high. They've been hard to find. I do have a feeling that they are going to start trickling down just a little bit. But if this tax is kept in place, the Christmas tree grower is going to go broke. And then the people that don't have to pay this tax, which is the resellers of these Christmas trees, they're not going to have Christmas trees to resell. And so that's going to hurt them too in the long run. They say that it's going to help them. They say that's what this tax is for, is to help the little person in the Christmas tree industry. But eventually, it's going to be just like whenever the government sticks their hand in anything else. It's going to ruin it, and it's just going to screw everything up. It's going to make the big guys pass the buck on to the little guys, and them guys are going to pass the buck on to the customer, and the customers are going to be the ones suffering from it. And the only ones that can vote against that tax is the people that are paying it right now. And so, if you're getting taxed right now for it, and you think it's wrong, you need to vote against it. You really need to vote against it, because it's going to hurt you in the long run, and they're trying to take you money. They're going to spend it how they want to. The officers of that board that gets this money, they get all kinds of outrageous salaries and stuff like that. They say they don't, but they do. You can look it up and see how much they get paid. They're taking your money, they're putting it in their pockets, and then they're spending it on Super Bowl ads or whatever other junk they want to. And so, guys, please, if you do anything, if this video teaches you anything, please, if you can vote against that Christmas tree tax, vote against it, get it gone, and then people will quit getting you money, and they'll quit taking it. You'll have a little bit extra in your pocket, and everybody will be happier, and it'll be better for all us Christmas tree growers. But with that being said, God bless you, and we hope that you really liked this video. We had an amazing time down at the PIC-TN 2025 conference. We'll be back again next year, and so we'll see y'all on the next video.